Hi, everybody. Brian Anderson along with Jessica Stamp.
Thanks for being with us, everybody. Brad Sham with Jessica Stamp.
And welcome in, everybody. Glenn Davis along with former UCLA midfielder Jessica Stamp. And a great rivalry match today here also includes great nationally recognized players. And first, let's talk about Texas A&M. Ashley Pistorius leads the nation in goals.
Leads the nation in goals, 23 goals on your senior season. She's the 2007 Offensive Player of the Year, and she should be. Not only has she contributed 23 goals on the season, but she remains a crucial part of this offense, even when she's not scoring. Doesn't have a goal in this tournament, though, so far, but she has an assist, and she continues to be a part of the offense. Alicia Bonnick, 2007 Big 12 Rookie of the Year, and for good reason. She brings a lot of offense to Missouri. 11 goals already on the season. You can see her scoring twice against Texas. Texas, arguably the best defense in the Big 12 Conference, one of the best in the country, and Alicia Bonnick puts 2 away against them in the quarterfinals.
Kirsten Redlinski, and was she magnificent, especially in the overtime against Oklahoma State Friday night?
Well, the goalkeeper situation was actually a question mark for Colorado in the season, but Kirsten Redlinski shows you here in this PK shootout that she stopped 3 saves, and they were not easy saves to make in that shootout to propel Colorado into the final here. And Kirsten Redlinski is proving constantly why she's a big part of that defense. But Nikki Marshall is going to try and help out on offense this year. She was actually moved to defense last year, but now she's back up top for Colorado. You're going to see her a bit in the midfield as well. But that's a big part of their offense, is having Nikki Marshall contribute to the attack.
And we'll have more on Colorado and Missouri when we come back to San Antonio.
Here in the state of Texas, time to look at the Broncos and the Panthers. McKinney Boyd taking on Colleyville Heritage. And when we look at these two squads, first up for McKinney Boyd, they were here a year ago.
And recently avenged their loss here a year ago to the Woodlands. Conroe Woodlands beat them last year by a score of 3-2, but they saw them in the regional final and got the better of them this year, 1-0, and now they're back in the final.
On the opposite side, you have the Panthers, a very talented squad. What can we expect from them?
Well, they're going to show up today. They kind of started down a little bit the last game in the semifinals, and it took them a little bit to get going. I think they're going to come out really fired up today. It's a state championship on the line, so you're going to see a bit of a different Colleyville team here today.
For McKinney Boyd, last year they had all those juniors playing for the championship. This year, it's very talented and a very accomplished senior class.
Yeah, perhaps one of the most successful senior classes in all of high school girls soccer in Texas history. This senior class team, there's just no others like it, led by Kelly Minogue up top. She scored 120 plus career goals for McKinney Boyd. It's going to be fantastic to see those seniors out on the pitch today.
We mentioned the Broncos played for the title last year. Meanwhile, the Panthers, their last title that they won was back in 1999. Recently, they've been trying to get past that threshold of the second round of the playoffs, finally broke through, and what are they doing this year? They're playing for it all.
This was early in the contest. We're about to see a great through ball.
Well, just picked off a 50-50 ball here, but what's nice is she just took one touch to settle and then one touch to send in her forward, Katie Carmichael, who took 2 great touches in behind, pulled the keeper to the wide spot there, and just perfect finishing there in that side netting. Couldn't have done it better. And nice early goal from Wakeland to put them up 1-0. But they were threatening pretty much all game, and we talked about this right side. Here's Maddie Lundberg with a fantastic shot just over the crossbar. And you can see they're excited because they just played combinations so well with each other. And some set pieces here were very dangerous for Wakeland as well. It's been pretty much at that end, but Katie Turner, the freshman for Vista Ridge, doing a good job of at least flicking it away and on these chances, but still Wakeland continuing to threaten that Vista Ridge goal.
We take a look at the first half statistics. You see where the Wolverines with those 3 shots on goal have been pestering the freshman goalkeeper Katie Turner, but more often than not she has had an answer.
Yeah, it seems a lot more disparity than the stats show. It looks like a pretty close game with the stats. A lot of those opportunities for Wakeland haven't really been exactly shots on goal, but they've been threatening pretty much the whole half. Vista Ridge has got to make some adjustments here in the second half. They're down a goal. They've got to find an equalizer and then a way to finish out this game with a state championship. This is a little taste of what Kelly Minogue can do. Just quick little touches on the ball. All you need is a little bit of a step to get a shot off on goal. And you see that ball kind of fading off to the right side. Great bend away on that ball. But like you said, Kara Steen making a fantastic tip save. This is real reminiscent of the semifinal yesterday when Merchant got the ball through off of a giveaway in the middle. I think that's the game plan for Colleyville. They just kind of post her up real high. They've got these 4 midfielders here, one of which is more of an attacking mentality in Britt Blackwell. And you got Brittany Thomas as well, so good with the through balls. They're looking for a mistake there in the back, and then they're trying to find Merchant in behind at her feet. And that's what they're looking to do. She's so good at scoring those goals. She's got 11 on the year, and she's going to be looking to combine with those midfielders.
Yeah, they may not have quite as many opportunities in total, but they'll have some high-quality ones. At times, just could not connect. All or nothing. And most of these goalies by now have that confidence that they're going to get to every ball.
And not just aggressive, but immediate, not hesitant at all. Not, do I go, do I stay, should I go out for this? It's immediate, they're out there, they're quick, and they're on the ball before the player can get a touch.
And what you don't think about too much is just with the dominance that a lot of these qualifying teams have throughout the season, their keepers aren't tested all that frequently. And it's especially when a shootout rolls around all of a sudden that they're being put to test within a matter of minutes, one after another.
Yeah, that comes down to how important practice is. A lot of these teams, like you said, they blow out a lot of their competition throughout the year, so their keepers don't get a lot of in-game touches. But practice is where it comes in. If they're facing their front runners in practice every day, they're going to get really good at stopping close shots.
In the UIL, they've opted to go with the overtime halves and then a shootout afterwards. But for the most part, this is only territory you get into once you're in the postseason. Neither of these teams has had to go to extended play here in the playoffs this year.
And they really haven't been subbing a whole lot either throughout the game, so it's going to be interesting to see if either coach does go to their bench to kind of put in some subs to give a bit of a break and then maybe press for 5 minutes at a time with their starters. So it's going to be interesting if they do make any adjustments or they just say, hey, you know what, you started this thing, now you've got to finish it for most of these starting 11 to 13 players that tend to play.
And you can see why they are playing this late in the season.
Well, that's a really huge development in the women's game within the last 10, 15 years is you've got to be able to have defenders that can score, that they can score in set pieces, that they can come forward and help out on the attack, that can even dribble forward out of the central defense. You've got to have the ability to add additional numbers in and around the box. So that's why you see a lot of forwards being converted and moved back onto the defense so that they'll help out on the attack.
This was one of the easier saves for Karastine.
Yeah, it's a tough angle for Minogue there, but McKinney Boyd doing a better job of combining with each other to at least get her free inside the 18. She's been taking most of her shots from 20 yards out, so they want that, getting her inside the 18, a little bit better percentage shot. Yeah, I think while McKinney Boyd's more into building out of the back, swinging it, pushing it across the field, being a little more patient in terms of going up the flank and working it around, you're going to see Colleyville try and capitalize on any loose balls in the midfield, putting it forward as quickly as possible since Merchant does stay so high on that back line.
Loss that they suffered at the hands of the Panthers as well, but how much is that to do simply because they know how much they can trust their defense, that they don't have to be quite as offensive minded?
Well, I think that's a big part of it. I think they do trust their defense quite a bit. But just kind of also a testament to all the competition that's out there nowadays, all the parity that there is, especially in Texas high school soccer. It's hard to score. I mean, it's hard to score goals in soccer, period, let alone with this 5A competition. So it's a tough thing to do, and that's why a player like Minogue, who's able to get 125, is pretty spectacular at this level. But and you see today, they haven't been high-scoring games. Obviously, the deeper you go in the tournament, the closer it's going to be, and a lot of times it comes down to an individual's special effort.
Katie Heap sends it up ahead, and a collision as Karastine will scoop it up. And this will be a foul. We have seen with all these goalkeepers who take the risks that they do, coming out as far as they do, trying to cut off these forwards. A lot of the 50-50 balls lead to some collisions.
Yeah, and collisions with the goalies are always real sensitive. You look at hockey's very similar. Players are very protective of their goalies. Goalies are protective of themselves, and then the refs are protective of goalies. So anytime you go in cleats up or it's a collision, there's kind of some high emotions around the goalie and how kind of defenseless they can be in the box.
Coach, your first season, the school's first state championship. What do you do for an encore?
I don't even know what to say right now. I'm just so excited. These girls have been fighting for this forever, and the seniors, I mean, they wanted it so bad, and they went out and took care of it. You know, when you have 8 seniors on the field, I mean, they're going to get the job done because they want it bad enough, and they did that today. So,
Coach, speaking of your fight, like you said, they fought across the field, including up top. Tremendous pressure up top, especially from Katie Carmichael. What can you say about your forwards today?
You know, I mean, we've been pressuring the ball all year, and that's kind of one of my big beliefs as a coach, is that if you high pressure and you create enough chaos, that the rest of it's going to take care of itself. And Katie and Kingston and Sydney, I mean, the pressure all over the field today from our defensive line all the way to the front was just absolutely unreal, and that's what kept them under pressure. And you know, that was a great team, but we were just playing with so much pressure that we were able to take care of it. So.
All right, Coach Megan Wilson, go enjoy this with the rest of your team. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Most exciting players here, Bryce Berry. And just tell us what it was like. How do you maintain the ability to stay in 5th gear from start to finish during a championship match like this?
Well, it starts in preseason. We ran a lot of meltdowns, which y'all don't know what that is, but we just ran our hearts out in preseason, and I think it paid off, all the conditioning we did. And I mean, I can tell you right now that my job on this team, I might not be the best player, but I hustle my heart out, so that's what I'm here for.
Bryce, you definitely brought a lot of energy. Every time you stepped onto the field, it just seemed like there was a spark there in the midfield. Talk about the midfield play and how you dominated Kilgore today.
Well, it's just about winning the balls in the air for me, because that's really what my team needs from me. And I really play a lot of different roles, so it's really wherever a coach wants me to be is where I'm going to be. And but today it just worked in our advantage, and we played our hearts out. Our team did a great job, and we got a state championship.
Jessica Stamp, who's with the winning head coach, Chris Petrucelli of the University of Texas.
Coach Petrucelli, congratulations. Back-to-back Big 12 championships. How do you feel about your team's performance today?
Well, we got it out. You know, we had to fight through fatigue and, you know, and a lot of different factors, and we played a great team. A&M is very, very talented, and they put a lot of pressure on us, and, you know, we snuck a couple and we held on, and we were tough. We were mentally tough.
Talk about the performance of the 2007 Big 12 Defensive Player of the Year, Casey Moore, coming up big defensively tonight, as well as contributing to both goals.
Yeah, you know, she's amazing. She dominates the field, the game on both ends of the field, and it's rare to have players who can, you know, who can score goals and keep them out on the other end. She's been great all year long.
Congratulations. And Diana Fenniger, a little scary there toward the end of the match. A couple of great chances for Texas A&M. What did you talk to your team about pulling out in the last few minutes?
Just gutting it out and just hanging in there those last few minutes, taking the pressure, and our back four did great. It's great to have them in front of me. Great to play with them.
You've been contributing to the team not just in terms of being the goalkeeper, but scoring a couple PKs as well for the team in this Big 12 tournament. Talk about being a junior and how special it is to win back-to-back championships.
I think it's a great thing, especially for our seniors, because this is their last Big 12 tournament. So for them to go out with 2 championships for their last 2 years is great.
Well, Jessica, Diana Fenniger, clearly outstanding game here today. But what I want to ask you is how important was it for the Longhorns to get the game's first goal in this one and kind of dictate the tactics to A&M?
Well, obviously, this is a huge, as they mentioned, huge victory for Texas just in terms of winning back-to-back Big 12 championships. But more importantly, they're in a rhythm. They look good going into postseason play. And now they have the confidence that they can hang with not just the #2 team in the nation, but any team in the nation.
All right, now from A&M's perspective in this one, you know, they've normally over the years, except for the fact that Texas has won the last 2 Big 12 conference titles here, you know, they've kind of owned this tournament. Could this be a timely loss if there is such a thing heading into the NCAAs?
Well, obviously, just having this loss today, I think they can learn a lot from that. They got to learn that they can't play to their opponent. They've got to play their game. And ultimately, it comes down to a couple special plays. And they just were unfortunate on the end of that today that they couldn't pull it out with a couple goals.
Give me the keys for Texas today. You know, how did they marginalize this team that is so athletic and so skilled?
Oh, the keys for Texas was coming up big in the midfield in particular. They struggled against A&M earlier in the year. A&M did a great job of just moving the ball around the midfield and pushing it up to Pistorius, but they just disrupted A&M's play. The Aggies couldn't get it under control. They had a very tough time and putting very many good shots up on goal.
Well, Jessica, great work today here in San Antonio. Enjoyed working with you, and super analysis of today's game. The Texas Longhorns, they win it